Hi friends, this is Melus Njalambi coming to you live from Melville Video Productions. Very thrilled to know that you're still following this channel. Today we have a special broadcast that we've brought you. We have run a few series before on Health is Wealth with Gandy, Madzalo. Now today we decided to talk a little bit more about the book that he has published. And this book is titled Health is Wealth, the richest man without it is poor. Gandy, welcome to this program.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
Fine, and you?
Very well, thanks. Good to have you today.
Thank you.
Now, you wrote a book here. I've been reading the e-book, and it's called Health is Wealth. And you put a tagline, without it, the richest man is poor. Can you tell us about what motivated you to write this book?
Having worked in clinical practice for the past 10 years, I have learned and I've observed that of all the temporary blessings that we have in this life, nothing can surpass good health. You can only enjoy everything that you have only when you have a measure of good health.
All right. Now, you talk about good health, but tell me more about what really motivated you. I read a story of you narrating how you went to a health expo. And that when you walked away, your life was different. Can you tell us a little bit more about that motivation you got and your understanding of what health is?
Yes, that's true. For a long time, I've always wanted to be the healthiest person.
Okay.
And
you look like to me.
And I remember, yes, even after trying to eat a healthy diet, trying to do maybe some exercise from time to time. Yeah. I happened to be at this place where they were doing a health expo. And I had my blood pressure checked.
Okay.
I was happy with the results. Yeah. I had my body fat checked. Yeah. I had so many things checked on me. Yeah. But I was not happy with my water levels. Okay. They discovered that I was dehydrated. All right. And being a person who have worked with people who are sick, people with kidney damages, people with so many kidney stones, and people suffering from gout, from arthritis, rheumatism, conditions that are also influenced by dehydration. I was concerned about it. From that day, I made a resolution. I need to be drinking enough water. So I tried my best to drink at least 8 glasses of water a day. All right. I also try my best every time to do some physical activity, especially walking, the cheapest one. Yes. You just put your sports shoes and you go for a walk. All right. It is a privilege to do everything that you can to enjoy good health, because you can have everything in life. Yeah. But if you are sick, you can't enjoy what you have.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the book that you've written. Your personal experience, of course, working in the health industry, and your training as well as a naturopathic clinical nutritionist. So understanding the details of how nutrition interacts with the body. How do you define health and wellness in your book?
It is defined as a lifestyle that you need to live. Okay. To be in good health, it's not an event. All right. Many people today, they think it's the doctor's job to fix you up. All right. When you're ill. While it is true that those of us who work in the health care, we have a responsibility to look after people's general health, especially when they're ill. Yeah. We cannot give you good health. All right. But good health is a choice, and it is something that you harvest from the way you live. The law of harvest is just as true as the law of gravity. Whatever goes up comes down. All right. And what you sow is what you reap. So I define wellness as someone who is enjoying good health mentally, physically, and spiritually as a result of good choices, which comes as a result of being informed or being educated about living well. Okay. Now, you talk about health as a choice. There are some people in life out there who may not have a choice in terms of what's available for them. When you define health as a choice, what is the role of lifestyle? Because lifestyle is also a choice. Are you saying health is achieved as a result of a lifestyle you choose? That is true. You may do it ignorantly, or you may do it with knowledge. There are people who know that, if I don't exercise, if I don't sleep, if I don't manage my stress levels, I'm going to get ill. But they do it anyway. But there are also people who may live a poor lifestyle just because they don't know any better. And these are the people that we are trying to educate. These are the people that we are trying to inform. That look, you don't have to be another statistic when you are talking about people who are diabetic, people who have high blood pressure, people who have depression. These conditions are preventable if only you can make wise choices on how to eat well and how to live well.
Yeah, we're going to get into that in the next episodes that we want to cover, the message that you have. And it's quite amazing to see that you write such a book on health and wellness. So you combine the two, that you cannot be well unless you make the right health choices. Now, I looked through the book, and for those who are out there, I would definitely encourage you to go and look at this book and read some of the principles that are mentioned in there. But you mentioned lifestyle, but also we know that diseases don't only come because of lifestyle. There are some diseases that come because of your genetics. So someone can get sick because they are predisposed genetically. How does the book help those who are out there who may not have made the choices, but nature made the choices for them? Is there any hope for such to be healthy?
That's a very good question. For many years, for those of us who work in the clinic, we have always believed that people are victims of whatever they inherited from their ancestors, which may be true to a smaller percentage. There are some conditions that are really beyond your lifestyle, beyond what you have done or what you never did. But those conditions are actually very, very few. Even those today that we say they are having maybe a chronic condition because of their genetics or whatever weakness they inherited from their parents. We have discovered that people, they don't necessarily inherit the disease. In some conditions, and in most conditions like diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, they inherit a weakness from their parents. Meaning that if you live a lifestyle that will trigger that weakness, then you can become diabetic. But if you live a lifestyle that will suppress that weakness, you can still have the weakness, but you may not become diabetic. That's why they say, a chronic condition or a genetic weakness, it's like a loaded rifle. But it is lifestyle that pulls the trigger.
I like that. So your lifestyle is the one that actually determines what you're going to get sick from. Now, you talk about this quite a lot when I read through the book in your introductory section, where you talk about the determinants of health and wellness, which is, of course, like you're mentioning, the lifestyle. Now, but there's this concept that you bring in, which I would like you to explain what you meant by it. You talked about self-care versus medical care. What's the difference?
The difference is that medical care is there to take care of you when you're ill, when you're going down. And many of us, we know that it may not always be successful. Sometimes you can still go through the best medical care and you only need to see yourself getting worse and worse. But the best care is self-care. In other words, prevention is better than cure. If you know how to prevent a chronic condition, if you know how to prevent cancer, how to prevent diabetes, how to prevent high blood pressure, arthritis, gout, how to manage your weight, how to manage your stress levels, and you apply those principles, it is much, much better than having a pile of pills or tablets, trying to manage the condition when it occurs.
So prevention is definitely better than cure. So prevention is the self-care.
The self-care, because no one is going to do it for you. You have to do it yourself.
Now, for someone to care for themselves, I'm assuming they've got to have the knowledge and an understanding. And hence you've written this book, and I'm hoping that if people read it, they'll get the basics of how to care for yourself. Now, So in the write-up, one of the schools of thought I've always believed in, and as I was reading the book, I was looking at this and I was like, wow, this is quite deep. The fact that if diseases were a river, lifestyle are the decisions that we take, our lifestyle decisions are the steps we take to avoid falling into the river. So we have to build bridges from a lifestyle point of view of things that we will not do. And I noted in your book, you talked about 4 things: the physical decisions we take, the physiological issues that we have to deal with in our bodies, which is the weaknesses we've inherited. And then you talk about the social and the spiritual. And I said, if diseases were a lifestyle, I mean, if diseases were a river, there are decisions we have to take in our physical, physiological, social, and physical, and spiritual, that should guard us from falling into the river. But when we do have lifesavers who have spent many years getting trained on how to save people out from their diseases. But like you say, the doctors may not be successful. The pharmaceutical industry may not do the job. So before you fall into the river, there's so much that you can do to prevent getting sick. But of course, we are sinful beings. We get older, we get weaker. So there's room for medical treatment. But sure, don't wait to be sick
that time.
All right, that's a beautiful concept I picked up from there. Now, talk a little bit to us about these 4 aspects and what the book talks about. When you talk about a lifestyle having determinants of health in the physical, the physiological, the social, and the spiritual, what exactly does that mean?
It's because we human beings are holistic in nature. Yes, there are things that are beyond our control, as you have said. You can be involved in a road accident, things like those, which may not necessarily be your choice. But as human beings, we are not just physical beings. We are also spiritual. We are also mental. So, for example, what we do, what we eat, will determine whether we are going to be in good health or whether we're going to get ill. In fact, there are many people today who are getting sick because of eating. More than maybe comparing to those who are getting sick because of smoking. Okay. Because the choice that we make when we are sitting on the table in a restaurant, they will mean a lot on whether you're going to be in good health or not. Okay. And there are so many people, as we are talking, who are in bed just because they never knew better on what kind of food to eat. And that's what we're going to discuss in some of the programs. Great. And yes, on the same physical part of it, you talk of exercise. Human beings are designed to be physically active. If we decide to sit down, our wellness will also sit down. Yeah. We end up being victims of so many conditions just because we are living a sedentary lifestyle. All right. But again, what happens in our mental health, in our minds, everything that happens in your mind, the body sympathizes. Okay. That connection between your mind and your health. So toxic thoughts will always lead to illness. That's true. People who are always angry, people are always unhappy, people are always worried. Yeah. At one point or another, they're going to get ill. And at the same time, if you don't feed your body well, if you don't exercise, if you don't rest well, you also fail to manage the mental issues like how to handle your stress levels, how to handle worries. And all those things, they work together. So you cannot address one without the other. That's why the books gives you some tips of how you can manage your mental health. Wonderful. So you talked about the other very strong area. You focus on the body, the mind, and the spirit. And that we need to understand how these 3 link up. And that health is not just the absence of a disease, but it is a calculated choice that you make to maintain a certain level of physical activity, because we are built to run. If you look at our bodies, and we're built to move and to work. And if we don't, disease creeps in. But also we need to understand our physiology. I mean, you can't, I think I like one of the thoughts you brought out in one of your devotionals we did before, that you can't pump up the tank when you're going to sleep. That just disturbs the whole physiology of your resting. That's true. But that's a beautiful concept. Now, we want to wrap up this introductory series, and
Can you tell us about what a health and wellness-oriented lifestyle looks like?
It is actually very simple, even though we may call it secrets of healthy living, but it's not a secret at all. It all includes how we live as a people in a day-to-day lifestyle, meaning that good health is supposed to be a way of life. When you wake up in the morning, what do you do? You know, what do you eat? What do you drink? How many hours do you rest? How do you socialize? With your family, with your friends. We are going to talk more later on about social health. And all those things, and how you spend your spiritual life. All those things, they interact and they work together. And what you get as a result of eating well, living well, thinking well, praising well, is what we call wellness.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, and we look forward to the next episode. To our viewers at home, join us, follow us on this series, get in charge and take control of your own health, because your health is your wealth, and without it, Gandhi says, you are the poorest. God bless you.